This is my first video of the new decade, 2020, the new year. And Happy New Year to all of you that are watching my channel and have been watching my channel, and to anyone new that has found this channel. This is all about diecast, 1/64 scale for the most part. We're going to be looking at lots of cool things this year. I've already got my eye into the future on what Hot Wheels is putting out, and Greenlight, M2, Matchbox. But the real core of my channel is looking at some of the vintage stuff, and that's what I really have all around me, is just vintage diecast and Greenlight, going back right from almost when the company was brand new. So we're going to look at all sorts of that cool stuff this coming year and in each video. This particular video, my starting video for 2020, I'm going to share with you some of my massive haul of diecasts that I've got over the last 2 months. I really haven't made enough videos to cover everything since around December, what with the Christmas holidays and all that craze. Getting through that, family get-togethers, shopping madness, you know, all that stuff. Anyways, today I've got a special lot to show you. I've got the what I'm calling the dead man's case. I don't really think the guy's dead, but he could have been. This case came into a local consignment retail shop nearby, and I bought this chock full of vintage 1980s Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars, all in pretty good shape. So we're going to take a look at all that cool stuff, which is out in these trays before you. We're going to look through all that. It's basically like a time capsule of one man's collection. And again, I'm going to stress he's hopefully not dead. But anyways, don't really know for sure. I don't know why anyone would sell a collection like this, but you know, people sometimes just need to get some money together. I understand that. And also, other things we're looking at, we're going to be looking at this cool little bit. It's a Legends Elvis thing. These are like early, mid-90s, maybe late 90s, 1998. Some really cool. I've got some very, very detailed cars to look at here with you. I've already kind of opened it up a little bit. What else have we got? Some random Hot Wheel things, some of the Corgi era Hot Wheels. We're going to open up this vintage 5-pack of rescue vehicles. Really quite cool. Can't wait to add that to my collection. And I'm going to show you where I'm going to put that on the wall. Part of my my new strive for 2020 is to be a little bit more interactive in my videos, and you know, kind of get the cars onto the display wall, bringing you guys along with me with the camera, so to speak, and versus just here's what I've got and then it's all gone and who knows where it went. Well, I know where it kind of went most of the time, but not all the time. And anyways, we've got a whole bunch of M2 trucks over here. I'm going to get into those in a future video because there's so much that I've got. I've literally got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 12 brand new M2 square body Silverados, and that's a video in itself. There's a couple more I'm still waiting in the mail. And then I've got some other cool finds here, some eBay finds. These some very rare, expensive vehicles here. Ones I'm still actually need for my collection. Hard to believe. I've almost got every Hot Wheel from 1974 to 1994, but there's still some out there that I every once in a while I'm like, oh, that exists, I better buy it. And then I've got some more nice little flea market finds here, really nice shape, and some more just oddballs, some really nice Matchbox cars, the suspension, some oddities, and this is just scraping the surface, guys. I've got so much stuff to show you that my diorama junkyard is once again covered in diecast for review, so we'll definitely be getting through that so that we can get to the diorama underneath it and actually do some fun stop motion videos this year. Anyways, I hope you guys like this new swag. I've got a good buddy of mine made this with the old Vista print, WTF FOR, and if you guys like this, let me know. Maybe I'll see if you can get like a group rate for making a few of these shirts. Maybe make some hoodies or something, get some merch out there. You know how these channels always like to sell merch. I'm not really into selling anything actually, but hey, if it's worth it, enough people are interested, I might be able to scrape together some more of these WTF FOR shirts. Anyways, thank you very much. You know who you are that gave me that shirt. And let's get right into this video. Alright, we've got the camera switched around to the other side of the table where I'm comfortable and I can have a seat and review these awesome little diecast cars with you. We're going to start out with the eBay and flea market finds. Look at the Elvis vehicles next. We're going to save the dead man case for last because it's just scrumptious. And then, like I said, the Silverado square body trucks, those are going to be in a future video very shortly. So stick around for that. That's probably going to be the next video. But right now, we're looking at some early Hot Wheels stuff from the 1980s and 90s. Let's start with the Ford Bronco 4x4. This is a 1990 release and was found only on the blue card number 56. Very rare vehicle to begin with, and let alone some of the variations I'm showing you, including this one. The first release of this paint job was in 1987. That's this vehicle here. The first release of the casting was in 1980, which is marked on most of the bases. The only difference between this 1987 version and the 1980 version is, or 1990 version, is that the 87 has a blue line under Ford Bronco. Let's just zoom in a little bit, clear the things up here. Whereas the 1990 version does not have that blue line. Otherwise, we've got a Hong Kong base on the 87 and a Malaysia base on the 1990. And the red motorcycles on the back. Everything else is the same. Everything is the same with this latest 1990 no blue line version as this 1990 also blue card number 56. It does not feature a blue line either. It does have darker, like a smoked window tint. It has the 1980 Malaysia base on it. And of course the most notable feature being the construction tire. That was new for 1990 and not found on the 1987 or any year prior versions of this Bronco. So it appears that they took this vehicle and they had a few black walls left still attached to the chassis, perhaps at the Mattel factories. And here you have probably the hardest variation to find. This one set me back $27 US plus shipping, which in Canadian dollars is well over 50. This version, if it was on the card, would be, according to the very out-of-date Mike Zarnock book that I have, worth $55 US. It is also very hard to find, especially in mint condition like that one. And this is another new one I just picked up, another 1990 variation, which is recorded in the Mike Zarnock book. Interestingly, the Blackwall version is not in the Mike Zarnock book. Not every variation is in the Ultimate Variations guidebook, but then again, most of them are, so no disrespect to Mike Zarnock on that. It's just that there's so many variations out there and they continue to be discovered. That's why there's updates to these types of books periodically. Still waiting for a newer version, of course. And anyways, getting back to the turquoise version of the Ford Bronco, it also features the 1980 Malaysia base with the construction tires. And this one, according to the Zarnock book, was worth around $27 US. That is actually pretty much exactly what I paid for this. I think that is exactly what I paid, $27 each for these Broncos. This one was on a somewhat damaged blue card, which I already opened, and I lost that video footage. So here it is, loose for your viewer enjoyment. And that is the story behind the white Broncos. So quite happy to have all those vehicles in my collection. Now we're moving on to the casting name is Super Scraper. It goes by a lot of different names. Power Plower. I don't know, all sorts of things. Midnight Removal is the tampo on this version. Both of these trucks were first introduced in 1989 with carryovers into 1990 based on a Ford pickup truck with a snowplow on the front of it. This is the common version with the Midnight Removal. It's got a Malaysia base, 1979 copyright on the casting. And here we have a Malaysia base as well. This one was the hard one to find. It actually has a different shade to the tampo as well. And this one was released in 1990 on the blue card. Number 40. Both of these were number 40 if you found them on the blue card. This one was also released in a prior year. And the reason why I bought this one is because I did not have one loose. And it is quite an expensive vehicle. I'm just running over to the wall here as I just forgot to grab that. I had this one on the packaging for 1989 Trailbusters. And I just could not open it up because it was just in too nice a condition. It's an unpunched card, as you can see. I've got it in the Protecto pack at the moment. Someone paid $20 for this, probably years ago, as I've had this one in my collection for years in itself. I originally bought it at Bi-Mart for 99 cents. Well, now I have a loose one. So I don't always open up all of my Hot Wheels. I know a lot of people think I open up Hot Wheels, you know, maybe even slightly recklessly, but truth be told, if it's on a very desirable packaging and it's worth saving as a piece of history, I will go to great lengths and spend additional money to have a loose version for my wall. And that's the thing, is my collection walls, I mean, ultimately I want every space filled, and I'm darn close to it. So looking at some of the different years here, these are all sorted by year, and you know, wherever there's a space, that's slowly getting filled up, and many of the vehicles you're going to see in this video will end up on those spaces. And as I said in the intro, I'm going to take you along for the little camera ride on that as well. So that's the eBay purchases. The local finds and flea market finds are over here. Probably most notable was this made in France Malibu taxi, which features the red tampo of the USA Taxi Services and fictitious phone number. No interior on these cars. Typically in the North American release, these ones had a black window tint. I should have, well, there it is. Nope, that's too far away. Alright, anyways, you probably have seen this car before if you know about the Malibu taxi. It looked essentially exactly the same. The telltale, of course, is the clear windows, made in France, and really nice suspensions on these cars, all gold hot ones. They really roll smooth. So we've got that one there. Values on those fluctuate quite a bit because of the international release and origins of that car. And so I would probably say that car's worth around $10 to $20. The rest of these cars are just kind of cool to find cars like this still in minty condition. I had found these prior to the Dead Man case, so I was just kind of excited. This one is not mint, actually got a few little chips on the valence, but little Mazda Miata MX-5s, released around 1990 to 1991. Got a Chevy Citation X11 here. That's an early 1980s release with the gold hot ones, probably around 1983. Got a Toyota MR2, one of the more common variations. That's a blue card era car, and that one had been released probably around 94. Jeep CJ7, this is I believe a 1986 release for this paint job. Kind of a nice one, especially to find with the window and roll bar in good condition. This one clearly seems to be a blister pull. And as we move through the loose cars here out on the table, make some room. Here is not a Hot Wheel, it's a hot toy, that's for sure. This is made by Hartoy, I believe. Hartoy. They made a whole line of these Coca-Cola themed cars back in the late 1980s, early 90s. This little Volkswagen Golf GTI, I have never seen this one before. I found this at a local antique store just yesterday actually, and for $2 I thought, why not? Can't go wrong. Opening, closing doors. No suspension, but yeah, there was a whole release of more common vehicles, trucks and Corvettes and Firebirds and stuff. But I'd never seen a Volkswagen, and it's really cool. A little road rally car with opening doors. Quite a nice little proportionate casting as well. Good proportions to it, I should say. Cheaply made, of course, but not so cheaply made that it, you know, makes you think it's cheap. And then just a couple random Matchbox finds. This is one of those anniversary cars, I think from the 25th anniversary. Where is it? I opened this one up. It was from the Premier collection, one of 25,000 Hot Rod Dodge Challengers, Series 11, number 5 to 6. Well, that's all I have for you. But what a nice car! It's got suspension, rubber tires, wicked paint job and details on it, all the way around for a Matchbox car. Very nice. License plates. It's got a plastic base, which is the first Challenger car like this I have. All my other Challengers are quite old and vintage, have metal body, metal base. They are re-releasing this car for 2020 in their premium lineup, so you're going to see this coming out shortly in your local stores in a different paint job, but still with the premier qualities to it. So excited to see that come out, but I really think it's going to be hard to top this little beast. At $25,000 though, you can pick one of these up on eBay for probably $5 all day long. And just another random car, this Toyota Supra. I would say this is probably probably late 1990s. Just a nice all-metal piece. What's the copyright? 1994, so I'm a little off there perhaps, but suspension, heavy rolling car, nice proportions, very desirable car. left-hand drive Supra. Very clean paint job. There are no headlights or taillights. Those were not common tampos to have back in the day for diecast. That's really something more of modern into the 2000s type thing. So anyways, we looked at all that stuff. Pretty cool. Let's go on to check out the Dead Man case. I think that's what everyone's really here for. So we've got the Dead Man case here. We're going to have to back up slightly. Again, reiterating that this guy may or may not actually be dead. He apparently did work for CA, or really liked CA, and some interesting little $200 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of anyone stealing a CA member's vehicle. That's an interesting old sticker. Obviously liked Hot Rod Magazine. I'm going to leave these stickers on this case. Now when I got this case, it was filthy. Filthy. It's still pretty dirty, but it's very intact. It's got no rips or tears. And but it needed a solid 2 hours of cleaning at the dining room table, as did all of the vehicles within it. All the vehicles I needed to clean up, and I cleaned them all with a microfiber, a little soapy wet sponge. Cleaned them all up, dried them all, so they're all very well protected. And now we're going to get into looking at those. In this case, I found 29 Hot Wheels, 18 Matchbox, and 1 Tomica. We're just going to go through each one quick with you, and some real gems in no particular order. Got the Mercedes 280 or 380 SEL Real Rider. This one appears to have non-original tires on it, otherwise in pretty good condition. A little bit of chrome delamination on the front grille and a few flea bite chips on the back bumper, but you can see those tires are kind of smooth. But what they should look like is these tires here with the Goodyear on the side and the fine print tread. They should also fit a lot tighter than these tires do. They can tell that these are probably off a slot car or something like that. And so that brings us to our next vehicle, a Baja Breaker Real Rider. This one would be from around 1983 to 85, somewhere in there. Don't have all the numbers off the top of my head, but that one's in very nice condition. Some pretty easy to find cars here. Mercedes 540K, white wall, Malaysia base, and Rolls-Royce Phantom 2. That one also is a Malaysia base. Those are both from probably around 1982 to 86. One of my favorites, the big old classic Packard. There it is. White wall. That's from 1983. Got a Gulch stepper. Now this one's a bit of an oddity to me, because this one would have been released, I think, in 1986. Looking at my wall here. Yeah, it was about 1986. So perhaps this case is dated to 1986, but this would be one of the newest vehicles I've seen in here. Someone has put on a Goodyear sticker on the roof, and it's got a bit of corrosion damage on the front corner. 3-window 34 High Raker. This one is actually a metallic red. It's a bit soiled. I wasn't able to get the full soilage off of the roof and the hood. It's kind of dulled a little bit, but otherwise in really nice shape. A little bit of pitting, as you can see. And that one would also be from, I think, 1983. Also from 1983, the Neat Streeter Ford oldie but a goodie. This one is in absolutely beautiful condition, other than some toning on the base. So that's going to go straight to the display wall, I think. Although I may have a good one of those already. I'm pretty sure I do have a very nice one. Here's a common one. Emergency Squad. Got some damage, so not worth much at all, really. But still a nice nostalgic piece. It's got the Hong Kong base, so that's a first release. Not the red line, of course, but it could be as old as 1977. And 57 Chevy, the Gold Hot One version. This is metallic red. This is also 1983. Nice, fairly shiny base still. Looks like someone's tried to polish it up and with something a little too abrasive. Definitely don't want to use any harsh cleaning products on these Hot Wheels. If you are cleaning your Hot Wheels, you do just want to use a mild soap and water and rinse them off good. Don't get too much water on them. I was careful not to get water in the axles or inside the vehicle. Certainly no submerging the, what is the word here? Oh my goodness. No submersive of the Hot Wheels in the water. Anyways, here we have the California Cruisin'. This would be around 1982, I think, for this one. The 1981 version, I believe, was all chrome. This one is in absolutely beautiful condition. Quite a desirable little van as well. And the Bywayman. Nice version. Still has all the fog lights. Typically, these would be straight up and down, but often when they're stored in these cases, the case kind of pushes on them. It's really a miracle that the lid of the case or the vehicles above it didn't pop all these lights off. So I'm quite fortunate to have that. It's only got a few chips on the hood. It's a fairly nice little beast from probably 1983 as well. And now into some Matchbox, which I don't know the specific years of, but that's why I'm going to guess these are all probably early to mid 1980s. I don't actually have one of these in my collection. Appears to be riveted together. I'm not sure if it's supposed to come apart, so I'm certainly not going to try. But it's in fantastic condition, and it fits in this little slots that come in this 48 car case. Now here's two interesting cars from Matchbox I'd not seen before. At first glance I thought these might be 1981 Kenner cars, but they're far too heavy, and of course they're Matchbox. Plastic base, some interesting special 620 racing tires on this one. I could probably identify these fairly easily just by those tires by looking them up. In addition, some of these Matchbox cars have the name on the base, Sand Racer. This is a very heavy all-metal Sand Racer. It's missing the whip. But otherwise, these cars are in great condition. This one is called the Mustang. That might be a little bit broad in general. The Boss. Here's a nice Mustang. This one has an opening hood. Chrome interior with those interesting early 80s yellow transparent windows. Boss Mustang, made in England. Very nice piece. I don't have any of these in my collection. Then again, I don't have an overly complete Matchbox collection. I have a lot of Matchbox cars that are vintage, but I don't have what I would consider anywhere near a complete collection. Certainly not of mint cars. This is a very nice little trailer with some stickers from probably a Hot Wheels set that have been added to it. There's a Hot Wheels sticker on it, but this is the Made in England number 31 Caravan with opening door. And it should attach nicely to any vehicle with a hitch, such as this Matchbox Land Rover with really nice suspension. And there you go. So pretty solid little attachments still, even to this day. I can imagine whoever owned this case probably towed this thing around at some point with that truck. And onto this Mercedes 350 SL. I don't have any of these cars with an intact windshield and steering wheel, certainly not the windshield, so that's a nice little piece to add. But very common car, as is this Vet, abbreviation for the Corvette. 1984 Corvette. The only plastic bit is this center black chunk in the chassis, and the interior, of course. Nice condition though. Oh, I might as well put those ones back as we get ready to go into the next layer. We've got a few vehicles left. Big old, what is this one? An S, nope, Kenworth. Aerodyne. Interesting. 1/100th scale. And we've got this little Jeep that should have had a push bar on the front of it, but I found the push bar underneath the trays once I had commenced cleaning the case. I realized it had broken off of this little Golden Eagle Jeep. Very unrealistic scaled casting. And then we've got the old, I believe this is an old Ford pickup, but what do they call it? Mini pickup. A mini pickup. That's a fairly common piece, but an old one. The Mountain Man pickup truck. All metal. And here again is another fairly common one. This one appears to have received some corrosion damage. Definitely not play damage. All of these vehicles roll straight and smoothly. There's only a few that have this kind of telltale signs of water corrosion damage in them. But this one luckily is not an overly uncommon vehicle. and not too much fretting to worry about there. The cars that were saved, luckily, were probably the most desirable ones. Let's see if we can tilt these a little better. Whet your appetite of cars to come. Just going to block it with so it doesn't slide down. There we go. Got some nice pieces in there already, if you can't tell. Let's go straight for this one. 1982 release of the 67 Camaros. I believe this is the first release. It is the first. No, not the first release. First release in this red color. It was a Hong Kong base. That's right. It also came out with a Malaysia base around the same time period. Opening hood. And overall in really nice condition, actually. No toning. Only very, very few microchips around the front fenders, but there's one microchip on the nose of the hood. Otherwise, a great little car. I already have one of these cars actually on my wall, so that is a duplicate. And here we have a beautiful condition Cobra, classic Cobra. This would be released in 1983. And you can see this one has not been played with at all. All the way from France, we've got this French version of the Porsche 924. Some of these cars had some black plastic skis, cross-country skis and stuff that would, upfront 924 they call it, that would clip to the back window. And other versions did not have it, so this could have been one that had skis or did not have skis. There's no way to know for sure, but either way it's in mint condition otherwise. And here we have a high raker. That would be from 83 as well. So a lot of these cars from 83. Another 1983 car, I'm pretty sure. The split window 63 Corvette high raker. This one is from 1982. It's the Hot Bird with the deep blue tinted windows, black wall wheels. And this one's just got a few little chips all over it, but nothing too serious. One of my personal favorites, the front running Fairmont, Ford Fairmont, number 27. The harder to find red metallic paint on this one. Unfortunately, it does have a bit of water corrosion on the chassis and toning, but that could probably easily be cleaned up, and the rest of the car is unaffected, which is the most important part. Beautiful suspension, those thin gold Hot One wheels and axles. And a blown Camaro. This is from 1984. Another gold Hot One version. And here we have a flip outs car. This would have been 1986. So I guess we're going to stick with 1986 as the newest vehicles in this set. And of course you can see there's the flip out mechanism, which when used in play, as far as colliding at speed, the velocity will trigger that little spring-mounted trigger point to flip the car over by activating that flipper mechanism. Pretty neat little car in perfect condition, so it's clearly never been played with. Digging around down here for a Camaro Z28. This is a 1984 release, all metal. And I think this one is a 1980. I think that was 1982. I'm not sure though. Pretty gonna be an early year car anyways. Yeah, 1982. Just located on my wall in the background. If you find me hesitating here, it's because I'm kind of looking around. I pretty much know where they are, but to keep this accurate, I've got to confirm sometimes with you guys. Here's another 1982 Camaro. This is the silver metallic version. There was a gray enamel version, which was a lot harder to find. And either way, still a nice car. Great collectible. Gold Hot One version of the 75 Corvette Stingray. Pretty common car, but this one's in absolute mint condition. Early 1980s on that one. Pretty much nothing earlier than 1982. As Gold Hot Ones weren't released, the wheels themselves weren't even produced until no earlier than 1982. So here's one of my personal favorites, the Nissan 300ZX with opening doors, all metal. the clear window variation. This is the common variation. Harder to find variation would have blue tint windows. Just a gorgeous car. Great proportions and scale. And we've got a Race Bait 308 Ferrari. This one is the gray enamel version, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the harder to find variation. Released in 1982. It also came out in silver metallic paint with the same tampos and the black base on it. Got a Cannonade here. The opening front canopy. Red version. I think that's 1983 or 84 as well. 1983, just located it. And I'm going to show you guys after this little video what I mean when I'm locating. You can take you in for some of these cars so you know I'm not cheating here. Here's the Alive 55 Nomad, Chevy Nomad in chrome. This is another one of the older vehicles in this set. Released in 1977. Pretty much 1977. Might have been re-released again in a couple of years after, but not too far after. Does have a bit of tarnishing and pitting, but no real play wear, which is interesting. Now, this must have either been a collection for someone or, you know, just a person that really took care of their Hot Wheels as a child or as an adult collector. It's hard to say. Here's probably the newest car in the lot. I would peg this one at 1989 at the very earliest. This is darn near the blue card era, if not. Yeah, this is a blue card car, so most likely this car would have been picked up in 89 or 1990, thereabouts. The rest of the cars are not Hot Wheels. We're back into Matchbox, other than this one car, which is probably one of the, in addition to the this Camaro here, one of the gems of this collection is this Tomica Gullwing Mercedes 300 SL. And it has the dual opening doors here. Struggling. Okay, well, you get the picture. Very cool car. I really wanted to show you with the doors open, but it's just not cooperating. You got one door open. Very nice interior on this thing. It's really well detailed for a tiny little car all the way from Japan. Interesting that it's in this collection. I mean, Tomicas were sold in Canada for a time, and clearly the owner was able to pick this car up. Quite a pricey little car to find in this condition for the most part on eBay, secondary markets. It does have edge wear along the fender, so it's not mint, but this is pretty typical wear and not very noticeable on a silver car to begin with, so it really doesn't detract from it too much as far as a display-worthy piece. And that is the second one in my collection. The first one I picked up at a flea market this summer for $50. That's Canadian. So, anyways, $40 US. Here we have an interesting car that I don't have any of these in my Matchbox collection, and certainly not in as cared for condition as this. Midnight Magic, it's called. Has a opening canopy on the back. Very simplistic black and silver paint. These are not tampos. This is actual paint on the car, but it's not paint that someone has applied themselves, I've deduced. It's very much an original piece. Quite interesting. Here's a newer piece. I believe this is an Audi, some sort of, what do you call it, prototype car. No, it's a Peugeot. Peugeot Quasar, I don't know. Interesting. It's got a bit of play wear on it. I would guess that one's probably late 1980s at the very earliest. And then this nice piece, a Citroën CX wagon with a plastic opening hatch and hitch. Fender skirts on the back, suspension. Very nice piece. This is a Matchbox Superfast made by Lesney, 1979. And the next three Matchbox are among my favorite Matchbox cars, really, from the vintage pieces. Got this Rolls Royce with the opening doors, suspension, all metal. Number 39, Silver Shadow 2. It's a fairly common car, but it's always nice to get one of those in good shape. This one's not quite as common. I don't have any of this paint job in my collection. I have this car, but these earlier releases of the Jaguar XJ6. All metal, opening doors, very realistic paint job, suspension. Quite a nice little piece, actually. Nice, one of those rare four-door cars made by the toy companies of the early 80s. You mostly see these two-door versions of cars, but those last three that we looked at, all four-door cars. Quite nice for a collector like me that likes the more regular-looking vehicles of the road. And this Lincoln certainly fits the bill. Lincoln Continental Mark V. Got some pretty heavy toning on the base, but it's a nice texture. Perfect paint job on it. Very nice piece. I've got quite a few of these cars in my collection, but I never turned down an opportunity to add one in any condition to my collection. So that is the Dead Man's Case, and as if there wasn't enough CA stickers, there you go. Fasten your seatbelt. CAA of Ontario Motor League. Let's look at some of the other stuff I got here. So here we've got a nice selection of 4 vehicles from the Hot Wheels Legends series. This was a series of kind of adult collectible vehicles that was released, I believe, in the late 1990s. 1997 is the copyright. Bear's Legend began in California, blah blah blah. You can read more about that. It's got some nice artwork. We got the original shipper box that it came in. Looks like it was a mail away. Inside that box, inside this box, which was inside the other shipper box, is this nice piece. I've got the plastic cover that goes over it as well. Looks to have never been displayed. Not a speck of dust on it. The cars were all still in their styrofoam packaging inside the box, so they were all snugly fit in there. And really, the only reason why I bought this set was because of this one Cadillac. Really like this piece. I'd seen it before years ago on eBay somewhere, and I don't know what the guy wanted for it, probably $30 or something, and I just never sprung for it. But to be able to find this one locally for, I think I paid $30 for the whole set, which makes more sense to me. I don't think there's a huge collector market currently for this particular set, but anyone interested in Elvis obviously would like to have this set. And Elvis, as we know, was quite a car guy, so nice piece. And that one doesn't say anything on the bottom, just Elvis Cadillac. Here are the other pieces in that set. I'm not sure if this is focused completely or not. Custom. They're all metal, very nicely detailed. But these are not regular castings in the Hot Wheels current line of vehicles. If anything, they've probably had their molds scrapped since the time these were made. Have not seen a re-release of any of these cars. They have their own proprietary names. This one's the Hirohata Merc, if I'm pronouncing that right. This one was the Custom Merc with a K. And quite nice details though. As you can see, gem headlights, chrome inserts, chrome additional mirrors, actual chrome plastic trim, not just painted on. A lot of details, similar to like an M2 car almost. Just even with the construction being screws and not rivets is unusual for a Mattel product. Here we have the a la carte. A la carte. That's a funny little one, isn't it? Now, I'm not sure if these other vehicles are actually vehicles that Elvis owned, but I really wouldn't be surprised. I should have done my research more, but as you can see, so much to show you guys today. Probably too much to show you in one video, but I've got so much stuff to show you. I have to get some of this cleared, and for those that like a longer program, well, here you go. So we got that one. This one was, I think, $20, so I sprung for that. You can't go wrong. $5 a car isn't that bad. The packaging's in decent condition, enough to show you what it's all about. It's got some tears and soft corners and stuff, so this is going to be an opener for me. I'm going to take these cars out, put them on my display wall together, of course, somewhere, but we'll save that for another day. King of the Road, you can pause on that if you want, but these are all standard Hot Wheels still in the current lineup of vehicles and castings that Mattel produces, unlike the Legends version. I don't have a lot of Legends cars from the Hot Wheel collection. A little before my time. It's kind of in the middle ground, I guess, of time frames of Hot Wheels, and just too many different castings to collect, really. Really do like these old Suburbans, though. These Walker Racing Suburbans are pretty cool. Packaging's pretty old on them. dusty. Walker Racing, there's a big long blurb about that if you want to read about it. But I did not pay much for these. Couple bucks for a Real Rider Suburban, fresh out of the package. Very nice. Very nice indeed. It's got a chrome plastic base. Walker Racing. That's a big vehicle. That won't fit in your standard Hot Wheel case, and it won't even fit in a Plano compartment. That's a good big vehicle. Just put it next to this Corvette, you can see it's almost scale at 1/64 scale. I'd say it's probably more like 1/70 scale maybe. But a nice piece. So I got one of those opened up. Good roller. Garbage. Air France. I picked this one up for $5. This is a fairly difficult little van to find. Maybe not so much here in Canada. Someone paid $3.79 for it back in the day. And really these cars were mostly these box premium version Hot Wheels were released in stores like the Bay and Sears and Eaton's and whatnot here in Canada anyways. They were sold obviously at a premium price, but realistically they were just the same $1 cars as any other Hot Wheel that you'd find. And I do already have an Air France cargo loose, so I just wanted to pick that one up because I know it is a bit of a harder vehicle to find. And the other vehicles that came out, there was lots of different vehicles, but probably 10 to 20 other regular, just normal, like cards, blister pack card Hot Wheels came out in these packages. So it's really the packaging that adds the most value to this, but in this instance, the Air France cargo van only came out in this square cardboard box and not in the smaller, like typical retail blister packs you would see. So for that reason I got that one. Just trying to preserve some history here. And what else have I got to show you? We got the Rescue Transport gift set. This is an oldie. It's definitely pretty grimy. And some interesting playsets of the time. World Universe was a big thing for Hot Wheels and Mattel to be pushing. This one's 1996. That's when I've got two of those playsets, and I was about that lad's age when I was playing with those playsets. I still have them to this day, and they still function. Good old playsets. So we're going to get that one opened up, put it on the wall, and we're going to save the Corgi cars yet again for another day, because these things are just piling up, and the video's getting long, the battery's about to die. So we've got to get this moving right along here. Hope you're enjoying this video so far. And now to finish this video off, I'm going to open up this 5-pack Rescue Transport 1996. So let's get these cars out onto the wall. I've already got a spot for them, so I'm going to take you with me after I open this up. Show you where all the cars that we've looked at today have gone. And I don't think there's really much point in saving the packaging on this one, but I'll try to do my best to open it cleanly. So in this set, what have we got? Ooh. It's jammed. There we go. Nice plastic tray. Got the helicopter search and rescue. And let's see, the beach rescue truck. Rescue something. That modern kind of futuristic looking Jeep. It's not really a Jeep. Roll Patrol, I think that one's called. They won't say on the base of these ones. Got, of course, the Paramedic, based on the Rescue Ranger casting, and the Ambulance. Quite a few variations of these ambulances exist. Slide away. It's cool that the back door is open on them. Plastic chassis. Generic ambulance. So let's take you over to the wall. See where we're going to put these Hot Wheels. And as we go to the wall, I've got a fairly vacant area up here in the late 90s, past 1994. Anyways, we'll home in here. I can see I've already got a few. I don't have a third hand, so I have to put this down for a second. And up and over, we've got a variation on that ambulance. This one is a not a 3-spoke, Snowblade variation, a little bit beat up. I'll just put that one to the side because this is a vertical area that I'm going to put the 5 vehicles. I've got pieces of other 5-car sets here on this wall, hence all the space. I normally don't open up the 5-packs just at the moment, but considering how dirty that packaging was, why not? My other 5-packs that I have hoarded away are still in really good condition. That's a nice duplicate now from the 1997 Rescue Squad 5-pack. And so there you go. 6 vehicles from the 5-vehicle set. And that is because I've got the variation on the ambulance wheels, 7-spoke, and then the snow blade. So there's probably other variations that exist. And in that case, let's say this is another variation. I just keep putting the vehicles down so it kind of resembles how they were packaged from the factory. And my ultimate goal is to have all the 5-packs, once complete, kind of all in rows. And that way they're a little bit more visually appealing and easier to locate the variations and different components of those sets. Here above it, we've got, oh, what set was this one? The Police Force 5-pack. And as you can see, I've got some variations of the Camaro. So this would have been 5 vehicles in this set, including the Alien, the Ford Escort, the Oldsmobile Aurora, 2 blown Camaros, one with a 5-spoke. $1 I have recorded there. These are from 1998. One from the 5 dot. And then we've got the delivery van, SWAT van type thing. And rounding out that lot, looks like I've actually even got maybe another one. So maybe this one's supposed to go there to keep in line with the vertical. And we'll just bump all these ones down a smidge more. But yeah, that's probably from the 5-pack too. I'm not really sure actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyways, I'll have to look back on that. It's been a while since I've added anything this late into the Hot Wheel years. It's really more the 1994 and previous cars that I've been filling the spaces in on tightly here to get that collection complete, as the ever-increasing value of Hot Wheels starts to make it harder and harder to collect them in mint condition anyways. Well, as a final overview for this video, here's the diorama table. Lots of goodies to look at with you guys. New green light stuff, some hobby exclusives, vintage Hot Wheels still, some new brands that I'd like to review. I've got these Schuko brand vehicles, which are very nice. Some new M2, Auto World as well, some brand new Auto World coming at you in the next coming videos. They're just waiting for an alternate color variation that's still in the mail. But stick around, and as always, happy hunting.